Good morning, everybody. You all are welcome in our school, in our class, our Facebook school. And again, one thing you must keep in your mind that you should not write your name and especially your KB's name. You can ask your question, no problem. You can answer your question, no problem. But your name, it is possible. Because this is creating some time problem for us. But no problem. We would look forward for today's class covered yesterday. Students are coming into the class. Please come fast as soon as possible so we can start. Let me remind what we have discussed yesterday. Yesterday we have started the classification of elements, and the whole history started with the Dauvergne's triad, move further with Newland's octave. Both have their limitations, and the most outstanding effort in the classification of element were made by Mendeleev, who follow a law, that is periodic law. According to that law, the properties of elements are the function of atomic weight. And you must remember that the earlier classification also based on the atomic mass, like in case of Dauvergne and in octave of Newland. Friend, Mendeleev proposed that if we arrange the elements on the basis of their atomic mass, after a regular interval of time, you will find the element with the similar properties. As the time passes, table was accepted. Table was so dynamic, so futuristic in approach that even the time of Mendeleev itself, more than 40 to 45 elements were discovered. And that is how you can see the surge of new chemistry, that is alchemy. The scientists who were unable to discover the new element, they started synthesizing new element for them. And in that way, we have lots of elements right now. In our periodic table, total 119 elements are written, which is displaying in front of you. So friend, how this table comes, we also discuss about that. This table is the result of experiment performed by J.C. Moseley, where he concluded that the properties of elements are the function of atomic number. Earlier it was atomic mass, now it is atomic number. That is modern periodic law. And you must remember that atomic number is equal to the number of electrons. And the periodic law proposed by Moseley is that the properties of elements are the function of atomic number. And the same concept taken by Bohr, Bury, Rang and Werner, and they developed a long form of periodic table in somewhere in 1920, just 100 years ago. As the development of structure of atom taken place and orbit and cell changed by the orbital, as you know, the discovery of wave nature of electron by de Broglie and Scully. Then we have modern set of configuration, and now you know that we can configure electron in an atom on the basis of s, p and d, f orbitals. So you know, either our last electron enter in the s orbital, or in p orbital, or in d orbital, or in f orbital. And you know that in the s orbital there can be maximum of 2 electrons. Similarly, in P there can be maximum of 6 electrons, in D it can be 10, and in F it can be 14. So like that, in the S block, which is displaying in front of you, S block have 2 elements, P block have 6 group, D block have 10 group, and they are combining together to form total 18 group in the periodic table. And out of the 18 group, they have their own name. I am going to discuss and we'll start with that today. And there are total 7 periods till now, but with the discovery of 119th element, we have 8th period as well. Okay friend, where we left yesterday, that we are classifying our element on the basis of properties shown by these elements. Like the first group element of lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. Right? These elements are known as alkali metal because their oxide and hydroxides are alkaline in nature. Its neighbor, that is second group, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium. They are extracted from earth and their oxide and hydroxides are also alkaline in nature, and that's why they are known as alkaline earth metal. So first group is alkaline metal, second group is alkaline earth metal. I am going to take here from this side. These gases are classified as noble gases. Sometimes they are known as zero gases, sometimes known as inert gases. Inert gases and zero gases are related with the reactivity, as these gases had completely filled their orbitals, and according to Hund's rule, you know that the orbitals which have completely filled, arrangement, they are the most stable, that means they are least reactive in this case. So helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon and the next element which is written over here, they all are least reactive. In fact, you can say that they are zero reactive, that's why they are also known as zero gases. Sometimes inert gases, but noble in that way that they are the something different. That means they are different from the other members of the periodic table. Then fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and other elements, as they are extracted from sea, and in Greek word I told you that in Greek word the sea is denoted by Hellas, so their name belongs to halogen. So the group 17th element, chlorine, bromine, iodine, they are known as halogen. Similarly, the oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium and polonium, in fact these elements, particularly oxygen and sulfur, they are present in the earth crust. How? Because you know the maximum ores are either oxide or sulfide. So mostly they are ore former, and due to that they are known as chalcogen or chalcogen. Chalcogen or chalcogen. Chalcogen. Right? Chalcogen. Yeah, chalcogen. Then like that, you know that already we have discussed that if in the family the first number name of the first boy or girl, like that W, then next come W and like this. Similarly in case of periodic table, you can see this is halogen, this is chalcogen. Nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, stannate, antimony and bismuth, they form neiside. Neiside is what? Neiside is the 3 negative charge species. In general, now we are knowing that it is nitride or phosphide, but earlier they are known as neiside, and that's why their name written as nicogen. Nicogen, P-N-I-C-O-G-E-N, nicogen. So the 16th group element is chalcogen, 17th group known as halogen, and the 15th group element is known as nicogen. And you cannot find such name proper carbon, silicon, boron and aluminum. That is there is no such name written for these compounds. But here for the 12th group, zinc, cadmium, mercury, they are known as noble metal. Noble metal means they are least reactive metals. Zinc, cadmium, mercury, right? They are known as noble metal. Copper, silver, gold, they are known as coinage metal, because you know the copper, silver, gold mostly used for the coin formation or ornament formation, like you know necklace and etc. So these elements are known as coinage metal. Now you just recall everything. Alkali metal, alkaline earth metal. In case of Mendeleev, alkali metal is placed with coinage metal, and you know alkali metal is highly reactive metals, and coinage metals are least reactive metals. You can take gold and put into iron. There is, iron. There is no change you will observe, because it is least reactive element, and that is how you can see the contradiction made in the periodic table of Mendeleev. It is highly reactive and least reactive, and like this, alkaline earth metal placed with the noble metals, and like this. Friend, these are the few classification. They are traditional name you can say. But now let me take some more name related with these elements. The S block and P block elements together known as representative element. The S block and P block elements. The S block and P block elements together known as representative element. These are the definition which you must remember. S and P block elements together known as representative element. Why they are known as representative element? You are representing your school, your class. Sometimes you are known as monitor when you are representing your class. When you are representing your school, then you are head boy or head girl, like this. Similarly, they are representing something, and what they are representing, just focus on these elements. Hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, boron, aluminum, carbon, silicon, nitrogen, phosphorus. These are the elements which are in fact present in our surrounding. Our entire life basically based on these elements. That's why in traditional time they are known as representative element, because they are representing our life. Right? Carbon, hydrogen, oxygen together form carbohydrate. Carbon and hydrogen together form hydrocarbons, petrol, diesel, etc. etc. And like this you can see everything which you are using in your, most of the elements belong to this T2 group. That's why they are known as representative element, because they are representing the entire chemistry around us. But it was traditional definition. Now the definition has been changed. The definition of representative element has been changed right now. The new definition you can say, representative elements are those elements which have only one cell, which have only one incomplete cell. Incomplete cell or orbit, and that is outer. Means those elements in which only outer cells are incomplete. Those elements in only outer cell is incomplete is known as representative element. In that way you can say outer cell is incomplete for the S block, incomplete for the P block, because here P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, no doubt they are something different. You cannot consider as representative because they are not present in our daily life cycle, you can say. But lithium, sodium, potassium, they are present. Here 2s1, 2s2, but mind it, 2p is always vacant in this case. So for the S block and P block, the outer cell is incomplete. That is how you can classify the representative element. Is it that clear or not? Tell me. Is it that clear or not? Come fast, respond it. Okay, so the S block and P block element together known as representative element. Earlier it was noted that these elements constitute our surrounding. Now these days these elements are classified as those elements which have only one incomplete cell, and that is how you can say they are representative element. Very good. Next go to the D block element. Next go to the D block element, which is between the S and P block element. Let me take one example. You can consider this is the UP and this is the Haryana. The border of UP and the border of Haryana, these peoples are in the transition state. The people who are residing in the border state sometimes representing the property of Punjab and sometimes representing the property of Haryana, whatever state you are counting. Those people which are in the transition state, they are showing the characteristics of both territory. Like this analogy, you can say that these elements which are close to S orbital, like scandium, titanium, vanadium, they have very much similar properties with the S block. That means they are showing the similarity in the properties related with the S block. Similarly, the nickel, copper, zinc, basically you can say zinc and cadmium, they are showing something similarity in the properties with the P block. So you cannot sure whether they are representing their own property or something related with their padosi, neighboring, you can say. In that way, earlier they are known as transition element, because from S block to P block you can see the transition in property. It begins with the S block and ends with the P block. Here you can say transition, change from S to P block. That's why they are known as transition element. Now, it was ancient definition, you can say older version, but now the transition metal or transition element, basically they are transition elements. Earlier, first classification explained you about the representative element, now transition elements. Now you can relate it, those elements which are two incomplete outer shell. Those elements which have two incomplete outer shell. Now, in the first case, there is only one incomplete outer shell. In case of transition metals and transition elements, there are two incomplete outer shell, and that is how you can classify the transition metals. Right? Other definition: the transition metals are those in which last electron enters in the d subshell. That you will see, that definition you will see in the 12th class. But what I am focusing, how I can classify my element on the basis of earlier to modern one. Earlier, the transition metal was supposed to be those elements which show the properties similar to S and P block. That means they are showing the properties of both groups. That is true even today. But the next definition, which is considered as more appropriate, in representative element only outer cell is incomplete. In transition elements only two outer cells are incomplete. Now these 14 to the 2, that is 28 elements. They are very interesting. These 20 elements are very interesting. You cannot find the position of these elements in your main body. Main body of periodic table. They are placed outside the periodic table. Why? And they have, in fact, point with their unique name as well. They are also known as inner transition element. Now you can define it, inner transition elements. Can you guess? Anyone who want to define on the basis of previous two definition? You can take the line of previous two definition and you can define inner transition metal. Then I can define. Then I will explain inner transition elements and their other names. Come fast. Define inner transition element. Please write the definition. Anyone? I am waiting for your answer. Come fast. Children, come fast. Very good. Very good. You got it. Students are getting the right answer. Okay, friend. If you are following the same line as in case of representative element and in transition elements, in the inner transition elements there are 3 outer cells are incomplete. Very good. These elements have 3 outer cells are incomplete. So those elements which are 3 incomplete outer cells. Very good. That is how you can define easily. Now we have the representative element, transition element and inner transition element. Now why they are known as inner transition element? You can see there is a transition within transition. Let me find out where these 14 elements must be placed inside the table. In fact, this is the lantana. Focus on that point. Lantana. The atomic number of lanthanum is 57. The atomic number of lanthanum is 57 and cerium is 58. So after lanthanum it must be cerium. If I place cerium and promethium just after lithium, the table will be shifted towards there and all these arrangement will be scattered. To make the symmetry, these elements in fact taken outside from the main body of table and placed here. In fact, you can see these 14 elements are placed behind the lithium like this. Here is lithium. Now after the lithium there is next 14 elements which are just behind the seed. We cannot see them from front because just behind the lithium 14 elements are arranged which is not visible. So you can see we are just plugging out all these 14 elements and lay here. These all 14 elements belong to only one group, that is third group. There is no change in group third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. No, they all are belonging to only one group, that is third group. Similarly, after actinium, next 14 elements are present. So you can say they are hidden inside the transition element. They are hidden behind the transition elements. You can say there are 14 terrorists which are hiding behind lanthanum. But being army person, you just trace them out and kill them, you can say. Arrested them, and now they are 14 into 2, that is 28 are placed for the demonstration to the country. So these are the 14 elements and these are the 14 elements, they are just belonging to third group only. So in another way, one can find the question, how many elements belong to the third group? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And 14, 2 are 28 plus 4, 32 elements are present in this group. But what you can see, by observing the table, you can see only the 4 elements because these 20 elements are hiding behind the lanthanum and actinium. So the name justified, inner transition. They are just inserted within the transition elements, that's why they are known as inner transition elements. Okay, I think it must be clear to you. Next, they are also known as rare earth elements. They are also known as rare earth elements. Name itself indicates that they are obtained from earth crust, but their presence is very small, very minuscule. That means they will rarely extracted from the earth. That's why their name becomes rare earth element. That is another name. Since from cerium to lutetium, The electrons filled from F1, F2, F3, F4, F4, that means up to F14. They are known as 4F1 series, 4F series, and they are known as 5F series. Next name, they are following the lanthanum. They are the follower of lanthanum, that's why their name is lanthanoid. They are the follower of actinium, their name is actinide. So they are lanthanide, they are actinide. Why? Because their first member is lanthanum and actinium. I think it must be clear to you. Is it that okay or not? Please tell me. Come fast. Just give your response. After that I will move forward. Yeah. F block elements, also known as rare earth elements, and the name basically given on the basis of their extraction, appearance, their presence, their amount in earth crust. And the first series is lanthanide series because they are following lanthanum. Second series is actinide series because they are following actinium. Very good. And response is coming in my way, and that makes me happier so that I can move forward. Thank you very much, students. So you can just take periodic table, and by observing it carefully you can write every answer. And that's why I am not interested much in writing all these things. I am just taking out step by step and part by part to explain all these things to you, and it will carry on, don't worry. Now we have 4 blocks: S block, P block, S block, P block, D block, F block. S and P representative transition, inner transition, lanthanide, actinides. Right? Alkali metal, alkaline earth metal, noble gases, halogen, chalcogen, nicogen, noble metal and Coinage metal. These are the terms, and maybe something more you can discover if you study all the things carefully. Okay. Let me take something more for you. After these methods of classification, these are related with the some, you can say, our older practice, and I am just incorporating all those things in the modern practice as well. So let us move forward. There are something new you will also find. After uranium, that is 92, that is trans-uranium element. After uranium, these elements are known as trans-uranium element. Naturally, after uranium, this is trans-uranium element. Why I am just focusing and taking interest in them? Because after uranium, every element is synthesized. They are not occurring in the nature. And I already studied, I already explained you that, but one thing, friend, the synthesis of new element is the branch of science known as alchemy, and I am basically telling you that it is mostly practiced in Russia, because you know the Mendeleev is Russian, and of course some part in America. It is also taking place in high level. Everywhere, a part of the world is practiced, but mostly you can say pioneer are the Russian and Americans. So after uranium, every elements are synthesized. They are man-made. They are artificial. So you can write their name: trans-uranium, man-made, synthetic elements, etc. But here one thing coming very interesting for us. After uranium, the name of uranium belongs to planet Uranus. Next, that is the first synthesized element, Neptune to Neptunian. Scientists have great heart here right now. They have given the name of this element on the basis of name of planet. Then Pluto, plutonium. And now First they are looking to the universe, and the name belong to Neptunium and plutonium. And after that the hegemony come into the place, I can see. The next element is American, and you might be clear why the name American, because it was discovered in America and he is Dada, you know. So the name of element is American. Now next element curium, based on Curie. Then Berkelium, you know the place in America, Berkeley and I, and on the discovery of, this element discovered at that place. Now from America to the state, Berkelium. And you know California, Californium. Now next element goes to Einstein. Sometimes they are also honoring the scientists, but most of the time they are looking to display the name of their own country, own state, and like this. Next Fermi, Fermium. Next Mendeleev, and you remember, I think Mendeleev should become here because he is the master, he is the father of classification of elements. But his name, no doubt at 101 element is Mendeleevium, and that's why MD. Then next name is Nobel, Nobelium. You know the Nobel Prize, not Nobel Corona. Nobel Prize to Nobelium. And next is Lawrencium, another great scientist, Lawrencium. 104 Rutherford, Rutherfordium. Next is Derbium, Dubilium, not Derbium, Dubilium. Next is Seaborgium, another scientist. Those students who are in fact following biology, they found that RNA had two type of RNA, 80 and 70S, and when their subunits are dealt, their subunits are written in the units of Seaborg. So, for micromolecular study, Seaborg has given the method to determine the molecular mass, and of course he got Nobel Prize. On the basis of that, his name we come to Seaborgium, and the element is honored in his name. Next, Niels Bohr, very late. Niels Bohr, borium, Hinsberg, haesium, right? And then MT means here metinurium, and of course then sometime you can find the rate here RG Roentgenium, the discoverer of X-ray. Copernicum, you know the Copernicus. And these are the name in fact given to the either some scientist or some place or some historical importance, but they are in fact given very late to the elements. But IUPAC decided that whenever you discover new element, for new element, first you write the name IUPAC name by following simple rule. See, for 0 they just write term nil, and for 1 they just write term un, and term for 2 it is bi, then tri, then quad, pent, hex, hept, oct, non. These are the terms. You may visit to your book and find. Similarly, when the 119 element is discovered, their name goes to un, and only. So the U, and N. This is the symbol of UUE, anium, right? Inium. For 9 you can say inium is there, I think. So on the basis of that you can write the name of new element. So friend, earlier and even in your book you can find the name of these elements which is written here, Roentgenium and Copernicum, like 112. Unbinium. Unbinium, UUB. Earlier and even in your book you can find the symbol UUB, unbinium. And if the element is 111, can you write the name and symbol 111? By following the IUPAC system, can you write the name of this element? Come fast. If you can write the name of 111, then I will give some more example to work it out. I am waiting for your response. Ananiyam Abhasi. Aniyam. Very good. Aniyam. Because every number is one, so you can write aniyam. And here you can represent the symbol U. So that is how you can discover new element and write their name. But once the elements are discovered, their properties are established, and the scientific community confirmed that this is the element which must be there in table. And after that, they decided the traditional name to the element. Earlier, in fact, you can see the elements and their name related with some important figure, place, and historical person. And that is what you are following right now. So, IUPAC name is the way by which we can write the name of new element. Right, friend? So, at this level of our study, what you have seen in this periodic table, that is modern periodic table proposed by IUPAC, we have 4 block, S block, P block, D block and F block, right? S block, P block, D block and F block, and I related all the names of these elements with older names as well. Okay, you can take the general properties of these elements one by one. So, first is general properties of S block element. General properties of S block elements. If you take pen and paper, then in fact I will describe the properties, that is most important properties of these elements, so that you can write it, because I am not going to write all these properties on the board itself. First, you know how many elements are present in the S block. First, you know how many elements are present in the S block. You can find it started from hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium, beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium and barium. Mostly these elements are known as what? Alkali metal and alkaline earth metal. When you are saying that the first group elements are alkali metal, that means you cannot include hydrogen in this group at that point, because hydrogen is non-metal. So typically the name of the first group is alkali metal. So you have to just focus on the properties of metals. So the first point, you just write it. I am just going to narrate for you. The first point is all these elements are metal. The first point, you can just write what I am narrating to you. Again I am saying, the first point is all these elements are metal. And you can write for your better understanding, except hydrogen, because you know hydrogen is non-metal. So the first point comes to you, they all are metal. Second point, they are highly reactive metals. The second point is They are highly reactive metals. That means they have such reactivity that they can react even with air, moisture and water at room temperature. So friend, the first point is they all are metal. The second point is that they are highly reactive metal, and in bracket you can write that they react even with air and moisture. Third point, their oxide and hydroxides are alkaline in nature. The third point is their oxides and hydroxides are alkaline in nature. Student who are writing the comment is not going to write the notes. In fact, I am just not describing, just narrating, just dictating. You just write. You just don't use your mobile phone to make the comment. Sorry for that. But if you have a pen and paper with you, then I think it would be better, because I am investing time and you as well. So the comment is not going to make any much difference in your life. Every time you are just requesting, and of course everyone is watching. Your teacher is watching this class. Sometime I also come behind the camera so I can observe your comments. And you are writing your name, so you are going to be recognized by your teacher in coming days. So you just don't take time in writing all these things, which is not going to help you at all. I am just dictating the points. You can take the pen and write it on your copy. Again, the first point is all these elements are metals. The second point is that all these elements are highly reactive metals. In bracket you can write they react with water and moisture. And third point, their oxide and hydroxides are alkaline in nature, and on that basis you can see the name alkali and alkaline earth metal goes to them. Mostly they are kept in inert atmosphere, like in kerosene or paraffin wax. They are wrapped in the wax. So you can write that they are preserved in kerosene oil. Just write one point. They are preserved in kerosene oil. Why? Because they are highly reactive and they are reacting with water and moisture. So they are kept in kerosene oil. The next point, that is fifth point. They show the flame color test. I am taking the time so that you can write all these things. Again, you need not to write the comment in the comment box, because it is not going to make any purpose for you. The next point, they show the color in flame. That means these elements show the different color in the flame, and you will see all these things when you will perform the experiment based on these salt. That means the salt which contains these cations, you can take those salt into the Bunsen burner's flame, and you will see different color will emerges out. And in daily life you can say when the firecrackers are used on the occasion of Diwali and other celebrations, There you may say there are lots of color appearing when the fire in fact bursted and cracked. These colors are basically belong to alkaline earth metals like calcium, strontium and barium. They are showing very good colors. Similarly, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, they are also show their color. And the color of these compounds are basically related with their ionization energy. That property I will take further, so that at that point you can see how they are related with that. Right? And the next point is that means till now you have written first point, that means they are metal, they are reactive metals, their oxide and hydroxides are alkaline in nature. Third point is that they are preserved in kerosene oil. Right? Then fourth point is that they show the color in the flame. And next point is that they present in the nature in their combined form. They never present in their native form. They present in the nature in their combined form. They present in the nature in their combined form. These are the properties, because I am just writing the general properties. And many more are there, no doubt about it, but for that you have separate chapter of S block. You will see in the second semester, I mean after half yearly, I think you will cover this chapter, and in greater detail they will make you happier when you will study all those chapters. The most important point, which in fact I have to mention as first point, but I am writing it into last point. The last electron in these elements, just write it, the last electron entering these elements enter in s orbital. The last electron enters in the s orbital, and on the basis of that general electronic configuration for first group and second group. For first group it is NS1, and for second group it is NS2. So the alkali metal have general configuration NS1, like in case of hydrogen 1s1, lithium 2s1, 3s1, 4s1, 5s1, 6s1, 7s1, and of course you have the new element in your kitty 8, that is 8s1. In case of beryllium, it is there is no 1s category here, so it is start from 2s2, 3s2, 4s2, 5s2, 6s2 and 7s2. So the outer cell configuration is identical. For alkaline earth metal it is NS2, and for alkali metal it is NS1. Right? So friend, yesterday I told you that those elements which have identical configuration, they show the similarity in properties, and that is the cause of periodicity. The cause of periodicity is the identical configuration. Right? That is how you can write the properties of S block. Similarly, we can write the properties of P block, but I am not going to take the properties of P block today itself, because I think time is going to complete for today's session. So friend, I am just observing some of the comment that what about Monday's class? Yes, there will be class on Monday and onward, because we have to appear for these classes till the 17th of May, that is part lockdown part 3. So up to 17th your class will be there, and I think at that time we will complete this chapter. Right? So in the name of assignment, what I can ask you, you just go and read this chapter again and again so that you can make the chapter perfect for you, because of course it is related with your 10th chapter, but sometimes you can see there is advancement in that chapter, right? In the 10th standard you just go through only up to the Mendley. Now we have S block, P block, D block, and of course new modern modern period table, and that is why you can see the next point of our study belong to the new dimension of your study. New dimension of your study means you are going to use all those point and characteristics what you have in fact studied till in the second chapter, like configuration and all, and on the basis of that I can discuss the properties of these elements which will show the periodicity, like ionization energy, electron enthalpy, and electronegativity, size, electropositivity, metallic property, oxidizing property, reducing property, nature of oxide, nature of halides. All these properties is going to reckon in the future, and they are waiting for you. And for today I have to sign it up, because I have to go for I am going to prepare my next class for Swayam Prabha channel itself. So it is goodbye for today itself. Thank you very much.